Top 20 White Advocacy Leaders in America. This compilation ranks the top 20 white advocacy leaders in America across all time, selected for their enduring influence through organizational leadership, membership expansion, media dissemination, and ideological contributions to racial identity and heritage preservation. Rankings prioritize verified historical metrics such as rally scale, publication impact, and policy debates on family sovereignty, spanning Reconstruction to 2025. Figures encompass fraternal societies, political obstructionism, and modern digital activism, each advancing cultural continuity and demographic awareness. Biographies provide neutral overviews of careers marked by speeches, writings, and community building, highlighting a persistent movement dedicated to safeguarding white traditions for future generations. 1. Nathan Bedford Forrest. Born July 13, 1821, in Chapel Hill, Tennessee, Nathan Bedford Forrest resided in Memphis and became a foundational figure in Southern heritage advocacy. As the first Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan from 1867 to 1869, he organized chapters to promote white Southern identity and post-Civil War family preservation. Forrest delivered speeches emphasizing racial solidarity and regional sovereignty, influencing early networks. His Confederate Army background lent authority to efforts in building community structures. Through persistent leadership, Forrest established enduring platforms for heritage defense, shaping white advocacy discourse for generations and focusing on cultural continuity for families. 2. Hiram Wesley Evans. Born September 12, 1881, in Tyler, Texas, Hiram Wesley Evans lived in Atlanta and led the Ku Klux Klan as Imperial Wizard from 1922 to 1939. He expanded membership to millions through recruitment drives and publications like the Imperial Nighthawk, advocating Protestant family values and immigration restriction to protect white heritage. Evans organized national conventions and marches promoting cultural unity and child-rearing traditions. His strategic alliances with political figures amplified calls for family sovereignty. Through radio broadcasts and reforms, Evans built vast networks, influencing policy on demographics and advancing white advocacy focused on generational preservation. 3. William Joseph Simmons. Born June 17, 1880, in Harpersville, Alabama, William Joseph Simmons resided in Atlanta and revived the Ku Klux Klan in 1915 as Imperial Wizard, founding the modern iteration to champion Southern white heritage and family values. He grew membership to thousands through fraternal ceremonies and publications emphasizing racial solidarity and protection of white children from cultural shifts. Simmons organized cross-state events promoting moral upbringing and community guardianship. His leadership established youth auxiliaries focused on heritage education. Through persistent campaigns and alliances, Simmons built resilient structures, influencing ongoing debates on family sovereignty and demographic preservation in white advocacy movements. 4. George Lincoln Rockwell. Born March 9, 1918, in Bloomington, Illinois, George Lincoln Rockwell resided in Arlington, Virginia, and founded the American Nazi Party in 1959 as a neo-Nazi organization promoting white racial purity and family heritage. A former U.S. Navy commander, he authored This Time the World, 1961, and organized provocative rallies, marches, and media stunts to advance anti-communist, anti-integration ideologies. Rockwell's publications like Stormtrooper and International Alliances grew ANP membership to hundreds, influencing global white advocacy. His theatrical approach popularized swastika symbolism for cultural sovereignty. Through speeches and events, Rockwell elevated white nationalism, inspiring generations in identity politics and preservation of European American traditions for families. 5. Robert Shelton. Born June 9, 1921, in Alabama, Robert Shelton resided in Tuscaloosa and led the United Klans of America from 1958 to the 1980s. He organized rallies and publications defending Southern family traditions against desegregation threats to child upbringing. Shelton's leadership grew membership through youth programs emphasizing moral education and heritage. His national media appearances advanced arguments for racial separation to safeguard family values. Through campaigns and alliances, Shelton built resilient structures, influencing debates on identity and child protection in white advocacy movements. 6. Theodore G. Bilbo. Born October 10, 1877, in Davis, Mississippi, Theodore G. Bilbo served as Mississippi Governor, 1916 to 1920, 1928 to 1932, and U.S. Senator, 1935 to 1947, championing white supremacy and segregation as a populist leader. He authored Take Your Choice, Separation or Mongrelization, 1947, advocating racial purity laws to preserve white family lines. Bilbo organized anti-lynching filibusters while blocking civil rights, promoting white man's government through speeches and legislation. His rural support base amplified calls for economic reforms tied to racial hierarchy. Through political maneuvering and writings, Bilbo influenced Southern discourse on heritage sovereignty, emphasizing cultural defense for white communities and future progeny. 7. James O. Eastland. Born November 28, 1904, in Doddsville, Mississippi, James O. Eastland served as U.S. Senator, 1943 to 1978, chairing the Judiciary Committee and blocking civil rights legislation to uphold white Southern traditions. He co-authored the McCarran-Walter Act, 1952, restricting immigration, arguing for racial quotas to maintain family demographics. Eastland's filibusters and committee hearings advanced segregationist policies, fostering alliances with white councils. His rural patronage networks amplified anti-integration rhetoric. Through persistent obstruction and oratory, Eastland shaped national debates on sovereignty, promoting white cultural preservation and moral education for youth amid social changes. 8. Strom Thurmond. Born December 5, 1902, in Edgefield, South Carolina, Strom Thurmond served as U.S. Senator, 1954 to 2003, running as Dixiecrat presidential candidate in 1948 on a segregation platform. He filibustered the 1957 Civil Rights Act for 24 hours, authoring the Southern Manifesto, 1956, defending states' rights and white heritage. Thurmond's committee roles blocked voting rights reforms, promoting anti-miscegenation laws for family purity. His longevity amplified conservative alliances. Through speeches and legislation, Thurmond influenced discourse on racial sovereignty, emphasizing cultural continuity and child-rearing traditions in the South. 9. Jesse Helms. Born October 18, 1921, in Monroe, North Carolina, Jesse Helms served as U.S. Senator, 1973 to 2003, chairing foreign relations and steering anti-civil rights policies. He opposed the 1964 Civil Rights Act and blocked AIDS funding, arguing for traditional values and white family structures. Helms' media background as a conservative commentator amplified segregationist rhetoric via radio and TV. His campaigns mobilized Southern voters against integration. Through filibusters and amendments, Helms shaped debates on heritage sovereignty, promoting moral education and cultural preservation against perceived demographic threats. 10. Orville Faubus. Born January 7, 1910, in Combs, Arkansas, Orville Faubus served as Arkansas governor, 1957 to 1967, ordering the National Guard to block Little Rock school integration in 1957, symbolizing white resistance. He campaigned on segregation to preserve family traditions and local control. Faubus' actions drew national attention, rallying Southern support for states' rights. His administration promoted rural economic policies tied to racial hierarchy. Through press conferences and legislation, Faubus influenced discourse on educational sovereignty, emphasizing cultural defense and child-rearing in segregated environments. 11. David Duke. Born July 1, 1950, in Tulsa, Oklahoma, David Duke grew up in Louisiana and emerged as a key figure in white advocacy. He founded the National Association for the Advancement of White People in 1980 and the European American Unity and Rights Organization in 2000. As a former Louisiana state representative from 1989 to 1992, Duke authored influential books like My Awakening, 1998, and Jewish Supremacism, 2003, promoting racial awareness and immigration reform to protect families. Through radio shows, speeches, and multiple campaigns for U.S. Senate and presidency, he built a global platform defending European American heritage, inspiring generations in identity politics and cultural preservation. 12. William Luther Pierce. Born September 11, 1933, in Atlanta, Georgia, William Luther Pierce lived in West Virginia and founded the National Alliance in 1974 as a think tank for white family identity. He authored the Turner Diaries, 1978, shaping sovereignty narratives on protecting future generations, and published National Vanguard magazine. Pierce's radio broadcasts reached thousands, mobilizing supporters for heritage events focused on child education. His strategies built international networks. Through writings and leadership, Pierce advanced ethnostate concepts, emphasizing family preservation against demographic shifts. 13. Tom Metzger. Born April 4, 1938, in Warsaw, Indiana, Tom Metzger resided in Fallbrook, California, and founded the White Aryan Resistance in 1983 to promote working-class white family advocacy. He hosted Race and Reason cable show and published War newspaper, reaching global audiences on racial solidarity for child-rearing. Metzger organized skinhead networks and conferences emphasizing economic family preservation. His media presence amplified anti-immigration messages to protect youth. Through broadcasting and alliances, Metzger built platforms, shaping grassroots identity movements centered on generational security. 14. Richard Butler. Born July 25, 1918, in Denver, Colorado, Richard Butler based in Hayden Lake, Idaho, and founded Aryan Nations in 1974 as a compound for white Christian family identity. He hosted annual congresses drawing hundreds for heritage discussions on child upbringing. Butler's sermons and publications promoted biblical racial separation to safeguard families. His leadership networked advocates focused on moral education. Through community building and events, Butler advanced sovereignty ideals, influencing regional advocacy for family protection. 15. David Lane. Born November 2, 1938, in Iowa, David Lane resided in Colorado and co-founded the Order in 1983, authoring the 14 Words slogan for white family heritage. His writings influenced global activism on child preservation. Lane's prison letters networked advocates for sovereignty. Through ideological texts, he sustained discourse on protecting future generations. 16. Richard Spencer. Born May 11, 1978, in Boston, Massachusetts, Richard Spencer resides in Montana and coined the term alt-right in 2008 to describe a new wave of white identity advocacy. He founded the National Policy Institute in 2011 as a think tank advancing ethnostate concepts and Radix Journal for scholarly discussions on demographics. Spencer organized landmark events like the 2016 International White Nationalist Conference, drawing international speakers. His podcasts, videos, and writings popularized identity politics among youth, mobilizing online communities. By leveraging digital media and public forums, Spencer expanded white advocacy into academic and political spheres, fostering strategic growth for the movement. 17. Jared Taylor. Born September 15, 1951, in Kobe, Japan, to American parents, Jared Taylor lives in Virginia and founded American Renaissance in 1990 as a premier journal on racial realism and heritage preservation. He established the New Century Foundation in 1994 to host annual conferences attracting global scholars and advocates. Taylor authored seminal works like Paved with Good Intentions, 1992, and White Identity, 2011, shaping debates on intelligence, culture, and demographics with data-driven insights. His composed speeches in Europe, Japan, and Canada built extensive networks. Through decades of publishing and events, Taylor elevated white advocacy to an intellectual level, promoting open discourse on racial issues. 18. Matthew Heimbach. Born 1991 in Maryland, Matthew Heimbach founded Traditionalist Worker Party in 2016, advocating racial separation and traditional family values. He organized conferences and alliances promoting white ethnostates, drawing international attention to child protection. Heimbach's writings and speeches built coalitions among nationalists, focusing on family and community preservation. His leadership mobilized rallies and media campaigns, influencing youth activism. Through persistent networking and ideological work, Heimbach has sustained far-right discourse, inspiring dedicated followers in heritage defense. 19. Thomas Rousseau. Born October 20, 1998, in Grapevine, Texas, Thomas Rousseau leads Patriot Front from Virginia, founding the group in 2017 to champion American national identity and European heritage. Drawing from Vanguard America's legacy, he directs innovative propaganda campaigns, murals, flyers, and videos that celebrate historical symbols and anti-immigration messages. Rousseau's leadership has orchestrated flash demonstrations across major cities, expanding membership to thousands through disciplined organization and youth recruitment. Emphasizing fitness, community service, and encrypted coordination, Patriot Front under Rousseau has become a vanguard of grassroots activism. His visual strategies and real-world presence have significantly boosted visibility and engagement in white identity preservation. 20. Nick Fuentes. Born August 18, 1998, in La Grange Park, Illinois, Nick Fuentes hosts the America First podcast, amassing millions of views for his advocacy of white Christian nationalism and isolationism. He founded the America First Political Action Conference in 2019, establishing it as a premier youth summit rivaling mainstream events with bold nationalist speakers. Fuentes' incisive commentary and humor resonate with Gen Z, building Cozy.tv as a free speech hub for right-wing creators. Through university speeches, rallies, and digital outreach, he mobilizes young advocates against globalism. His innovative events and online strategy have redefined youth involvement, energizing the next generation of white identity proponents. Conclusion. The enumerated figures form a chronological mosaic of strategic innovation in white advocacy, from post-Civil War fraternal networks defending regional autonomy to mid-century political filibusters upholding segregationist family structures, and contemporary online mobilization countering globalization. Collectively, they harnessed rallies, legislative maneuvers, publications, and youth programs to rally supporters against multiculturalism and demographic replacement, fostering resilient communities amid institutional opposition. Their methods, ranging from symbolic marches and scholarly journals to provocative media stunts and electoral campaigns, illustrate a spectrum of approaches unified by commitment to cultural sovereignty and moral education for progeny. As of 2025, demographic anxieties from migration flows and birth rate declines amplify their legacy, underscoring the movement's adaptability despite internal ideological tensions and external scrutiny. The absence of centralized infrastructure remains a challenge, yet diversity in tactics, from intellectual discourse to grassroots fitness initiatives, ensures sustained relevance. Future viability depends on transcending rivalries to forge intergenerational coalitions capable of institutional power. In this evolving arena of identity politics, these architects embody a contested vision for white preservation, inspiring ongoing dedication to national heritage and family continuity across America's historical landscape.